how did you come up with Air Force Wingman Outreach?
So I'll give a little bit of a backstory. When I PCS to Kadena, I went through something and I was in a real dark spot, and I almost ended my life. Because I was only there a month. I really didn't know anybody, had nobody to turn to. So fast forward, in 2019, the Air Force had more suicides within the force than ever, I'm pretty sure. And I was thinking about ways, leadership can combat this, or, people can make a difference and things like that. And it got me down because I knew how I felt. So I could only imagine how these people felt in that moment. I noticed that a lot of people were going to a specific Facebook page or two and just ranting and complaining, oh, leadership's not doing enough, or they'd be like, this is what I have going on and I have nowhere to turn to and all this and that. So that got me thinking a little bit. And I was like, well, we need somewhere where we can go and vent or ask for advice, or seek help, or reach out and be like, I need a wingman, without fear of repercussions. I wanted something that was, blouse off, no rank, just Zach to Josh instead of staff sergeant to master sergeant, because I felt a lot of times people don't reach out because they don't want certain people, like certain ranks, to find out, because they're like, oh, well, I'm going to get in trouble, or they're going to take me to mental health and all this and that. So I created Air Force Wingman Outreach as a way to provide that to our wingmen, to our fellow airmen. I wanted somewhere where people would feel safe to go and reach out for help if they need it, or tell their stories and how they overcame it. And, so that maybe somebody's going through the same thing and thinking about ending their life, but they read that story and they're like, well, this person's going through the exact same thing. They made it through. I can make it through, and give them that little glimmer of hope that, it's not always as bad as you think it is. There are ways to make it through when you feel like there's no other way. And just, I wanted people to be able to build that camaraderie, I guess, of maybe not camaraderie, but like build that sense of, I'm worth it. My life is worth living, and I can turn to this person and this person who I don't even know in real life, but I know they got my back, So I wanted,
at the point that you made it, the point that you made that page, you said you went through something traumatic yourself. When you made the page, were you still in that headspace, or had you already gotten through it?
When I made the page, I already got through that. So I made the page in 2019, August of 2019. And what I went through was back in 2014. So I made it through. I went and I talked to mental health. I got the help I needed, which I'm very thankful for. I was deployed when I created the page. I can't remember if I said that. So I guess you can kind of say I was still going through something, but I was not in that super negative headspace, but I knew how I felt, so I could only imagine how the I believe the number was the end of the year for 2019. The number ended up being 137 suicides in the Air Force. Don't quote me on that though. But I could only imagine how they felt in those last moments, and I wanted to make the difference. You know, give the people a place to go. You know, to reach out for help. You know,
It's kind of what, you would have wanted at that point in your life, right? It's something that you knew in your mind, hey, if this existed, this would have helped me, right?
Yes.
And there's a little bit of healing too in creating something like that, right? Like on your own journey and what you're going through. Like when you put love like that out in the world and you're trying to help others like that, did you feel like that internally helped you?
It definitely did. Just the fact that it was received so well, and so many people wanted to be a part of it. It made me feel real good, and just like it built me up and helped me to realize that, even though, I may struggle sometimes, I can get through it. And it helped me heal, and it helped me realize, even more that I am worth something. I'm not, just moving through life. I can make a difference.
Yeah, man, that's beautiful, man. I'm really thankful you made that page, and I know there's tons and hundreds of thousands of people possibly all thankful for it. So when you made the page, what was your goal with that page? Did you make it for your squadron, your wing, the whole Air Force? What did you envision at the start?
So at the start, I wanted something that was Air Force wide. But, not knowing everybody in the Air Force, I just invited my friends that I knew were in the Air Force. And, I was like, oh, nobody's probably going to join this, And then I slowly watched it. It was like 3 people, 8 people, 20 people. I think I got up to like 57, and it just stopped at 57 for a while. And I'm like, all right, this isn't really going to go anywhere. I went to bed, and I woke up the next day, and it was like 700 and some people. I'm like, what? And it's just been going ever since then.
So that's when you knew something magical was happening.
Yep. That's when I was like, all right, so maybe I'm not the only person that feels we need this avenue, this outlet, without fear of repercussions.